Hello, my beautiful angels. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And I'm live in my group. I haven't been live in here in a long time, and I just honestly get better quality when I record straight up on my phone. But I still want to go live in here because I love you guys. So this is today's video about forgiveness and learning to trust again. Is such a great question that one of my subscribers asked me on YouTube. Robe, thank you for this question. It's an amazing question. And it really ties into just a lot of the things that I've been learning about releasing fear and really embracing love, and how that just really connects you to your God self and to your creator. So without further ado, let's get into it. Also, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, I'll have the link in the description for you to hop over there, because that's where my videos are getting posted every week. Okay. So first of all, like when it comes to learning to trust and forgiving, right? It is basically, of course, you guys, first of all, realizing that you created this, right? And there's a few ways that we can look at this, because yeah, we know we created it. And Robe was talking about that in her comment and in her question. Like, okay, I know that I created it. I know that everybody is me pushed out, but how do you get past that hurt that comes from, you know, what they've done, you know? And so there's like an analogy, right? So I want you guys to think of like if someone steps on your foot, right? Somebody like stomps on your foot, and you're like, yo, like, what are you doing? You know? And then they're like, I'm sorry, like this person pushed me. They pushed me, and that caused me to stomp on your foot, right? And it's like, okay, well then it's not really their fault that they've stomped on your foot. It's, you know, but your foot still hurts, you know? It's this person that pushed them, but your foot still hurts, right? Hey, Bianca. So you're dealing with that pain still. And even though our higher selves can obviously be like, okay, well, that person pushed them, so it wasn't really their fault. But how do you deal with that pain? Now, let's get into this like metaphor, right? So the person that pushed them is their wounds, right? It's their childhood wounds. It's whatever causes these people to act out in toxic ways, right? If someone has never grown up in like a loving environment, they don't know how to accept love. They don't know how to give love. They don't know how to be a loving person. So all they can give you is shittiness, right? Whether that be as a partner or as a friend, or, you know, as a person on the street, as a person on the road. Everybody has been molded into this. We all come here perfect. We all come here as babies perfect, right? But life gets to us in whatever way. So whatever life does, that's that person that pushed them, that made them stomp on your foot, right? But you now, at the same time, you also have been molded. You have created certain beliefs, or, you know, life has kind of caused you to create certain beliefs, certain defense mechanisms, you know, certain ways of being that create these situations, right? Because it wouldn't be happening to you if you weren't aligned to it, right? And this is a really big thing to realize, guys. This comes with mastery, you guys, because it's not easy. It's not easy to look at the big picture. It's not easy to, when your foot gets stepped on, you know, just say, oh, well, you know, somebody just pushed them, so it's not their fault, so I don't care. You still care. Your foot still hurts. You still feel the way that you feel, right? But there's a big lesson in manifestation, you guys, and that is that no one is a victim, okay? We're not victims anymore. We are creating. Sometimes we're creating unconsciously, right? Sometimes we're creating, but we don't know that we're creating that. And that's what this channel is about. That's what, you know, our self-discovery is about. And taking the time to look into those wounds, to look into yourself. With my other video that I was talking about, when people irritate you, when people trigger you, because it's telling you it's an opportunity for growth, right? Now, what a lot of people do, because we're hurt, so we're reacting to that pain. Hi, Olivia. You know, we're reacting to that pain, and that reaction to pain becomes our life, becomes our personality. And some people can kind of stay in a loop of, you know, I'm on a healing journey. I'm, you know, I'm this, I'm, you know, whatever. And it's like, but they never actually let go of being the victim. They never let go of, you did this to me, you caused me to be who I am and to not have what I want, and to all of this. And it's understandable, you guys. It's understandable, okay? Like, this is, like I said, this is mastery, y'all, because it's hard, right? It's hard to forgive someone and to say and to take responsibility when someone is, causing you pain, right? But here's the thing about it, y'all. This is the big thing about it, is that, number one, you are suffering, right? You're suffering when you are living in resentment, when you are living in bitterness, when you are triggered by everything that walks by, everything that comes on TV, everything that shows up. You're living in suffering. You're living in a low vibration. You're the one that's dealing with that, right? And you don't have to, right? And what this journey is really about, when it comes to beyond manifesting, right? About really connecting with your creator, about really becoming the highest version of yourself, right? Because when you really get past manifesting things, you guys, you're going to realize, like, I'm manifesting me, and I want to be the best version of myself. And the best version of yourself is God, right? So the closer that you get to that, the less fear feels okay with you. And anything lower vibrational, you guys, stems from fear. Anything. Okay? So when you're resenting, and when you're angry, and when you can't forgive, and you're holding on, it's that fear. It's that, let me be mad at them because somehow my anger is a shield. Somehow my anger, Laura, I love you so much. I love you so much. Somehow my anger is a shield. Somehow my anger is going to prevent me from being hurt again, and it's not. It's actually the opposite, because your anger and your bitterness and your resentment keeps you in the lower vibration. It keeps you in the mind frame of, like I was talking about in my other video, which I told you guys, I'm going to link that because I talk about this in that video too. But it keeps you in the vibration of, oh, people just aren't shit. People just are mean to me. I just can't get along with people. I just, this and that. And you believe that. And you guys, your beliefs are creating your reality, right? Your beliefs are creating your reality. So guess what? You're believing this. So let me get into this other example, right? So you are an actor, and I'm going to make another video about this because God is an actor. God is the ultimate grand actor, acting as all of us, right? Now, we are also actors, right? So we are acting as that person. Olivia, the victim, is completely different from Olivia, the empowered person. Olivia, the hero. Olivia, the triumphant one. Olivia, the goddess. You know what I mean? Like, those are two different plays, right? So when you are, what Neville Goddard talks about, states, right? So your state is like a setting, right? So you're an actor, you're on stage, and you guys know how they have like the settings that they come and bring on, like the different posters and the different props. This is the setting, right? So if you're creating this scene, you're creating this state, you're creating this movie, that is your life, and the way that you're creating it is what, like, it comes equipped, right? So let's say if you are the victim, right? If you are the victim, then people have to show up in your reality to victimize you. Okay? And this is what I mean when I talk about getting caught up in the trap of healing. Now, I'm not saying not to heal. Of course we heal, you guys, but how you heal is by realizing, I created this out of fear. But I don't have to continue to create out of fear. I can create out of love. I can create out of safety. I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to put walls up. I don't have to be afraid. I can embrace that everything and everyone is love. Everything and everyone is God. I'm in control of my reality. So I don't have to create out of fear anymore, right? So when you move from that, like when you're in the victim mentality, right? You're in the victim stage. So like I said, your actors in your play, they must come to victimize you. They have to be there. You've written them as villains, because if you're the victim, well, who's the person that's victimizing you, right? They have to be that. So when you switch states though, right? And this answers the question for how do you learn to trust again, right? Because it's scary, you guys. And all of this, y'all, this is not something you do overnight. This is something you do every day. This is something you clear as it comes up, right? When you get triggered, instead of just, oh, well, that person's just a narcissist, and oh, well, they're just this person, and oh, it's everybody else, and I'm just the most perfect person. And that's another thing too, guys. Realize that you're not perfect either. That's something when it comes to forgiving people, realizing that you're not perfect, right? And we are perfect, right? We're perfect, but but realizing that I too make mistakes. I too probably piss people off sometimes. I too rub people the wrong way sometimes. I don't always make the right decision, right? And it's easier to give grace when you realize that too. But aside from that, coming into the state, like, this is how you learn to trust again, because when you're really understanding that I created this, right? I created this. Everything is encompassed. Everything is only reflecting what I'm being. So when you really become in that new state, when you really become that different person, when you really become the person that is not a victim, when you become the person that is empowered, right? That's the opposite of being a victim. A victim is things are happening to me and I can't do anything about it, right? Being empowered is things are happening to me, but I can do something about it. This is my reality. This is my world. Okay. Like, so when you come into that state, now guess what? The actors that are in your stage, you're in a different setting. Now they have to come and clear out the old setting. They have to clear out the old props. They have to either clear out the actors or they have to play a new role. Because if you're empowered, if you're loved, if you're deserving, if you're worthy, well, then the people that are in that reality, the people that are in your play have to reflect that to you, right? So they have to, now someone has to come and make you, and not necessarily like worship you, but, sometimes, I mean, some people create that, Now the people that show up in your reality have to honor you. They have to respect you. It's about who you're being, right? So it's about who you're being. And when you really, really get that will encourage you to do the work to release the fear, do the work to release it within yourself, right? Because everybody in the world, you guys, not everybody in the world, because there's, us, the tribe, but most people in the world, we're all looking at the other like, all right, when are you going to be better? When are you going to change? When are you going to be more loving? When are you going to be more accepting, right? And everybody's at a standstill waiting for the others across the way to do it. And it doesn't work like that, right? It's inside out. You be that, you will experience that. You be that, you will create that world. You won't have to, because what we want to do is Abraham Hicks talks about this in a video too. Like, everybody, before you come into my reality, before you come into my experience, here are my list of expectations. This is how you need to act. This is how you need to be. Don't talk about these things. Don't do that. And I'm not even gonna lie, you guys, I'm a little bit like that, but you won't have to be like that when you're just being that, when you're just being worthy, when you're just being deserving. Your reality has no choice but to show up as that, okay? So I'm actually going to do this in 2 parts. And the second part is actually going to be the techniques, because again, hey, your foot's still hurting. So what do you do about that, right? So, Abraham Hicks, Bianca, it's actually like a channeled entity, like a group of consciousness in Esther Hicks. But oh my gosh, you will love Abraham Hicks. Like, oh my gosh, yes. So, but yes, that's really it, you guys. I'm going to have another video, talking about actual techniques to actually soothe, heal. How do we actually go about, forgiving? Because there actually are so many different ways to go about that. But the first thing, what I'm sharing with you guys today is the fundamental, because if you don't number one, understand that when you are forgiving, you guys, this is important. When you are forgiving, you are doing yourself a service. You are not, because a lot of people feel like when you're forgiving, you know, that you're basically letting people off the hook. You're saying what they did is okay. And that's not what you're saying. It's not what you're saying. It's not that you're taking the blame, okay? This is not about blame. It's not about blame. It's about realizing that, yes, I am the creator of my reality, whether I'm aware or conscious of it or not. And it's okay that I created something I didn't like, because I can create something new, okay? But realizing that, yes, I'm a creator, I can create something new, and it's not the other that has to change when you really want to see change. So this was the fundamental, you guys. If you understand this, the techniques on top of this will really help you to release. But for now, like I said, you guys, take the time while you're just going throughout your day. Take the time when you're on social media, okay? That's where a lot of us get triggered, okay, on social media. And instead of, wow, that person's an asshole, scroll, what did that light up in me? Why? What did that ignite in me? What part of me felt vulnerable when I heard that? Because that's what triggers are, you guys. When you're angry, when you're bitter, when you're resentful, beyond that, that's the shield, right? That's the part that's trying to keep the part of you that's scared, okay? Fear. That's the part that's trying to keep the fear away. That's what all the negative emotions are doing. They're trying to keep the fear, the vulnerable part of you, like, shielded. So when you can start to get to know that vulnerable part, like, well, what about that? What do I believe about myself that made that hit so hard? What do I believe about, why does it rub me the wrong way? And just be curious about it, okay? Because it's not about judgment. It's not about blame. Like I said, it's about really being curious and compassionate and loving with yourself, and really just taking responsibility as a God of your reality. So I love you guys so much. This was so much fun. And I'll be live. I'll probably do part 2 live in here too. Just cause, but I love you guys. You guys have an amazing weekend, and you're beautiful. You're amazing. You're bright. You're radiant. You are love manifested. You are love manifested. And the more that you release fear, the more that you release doubt, you feel it, and you realize that there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. Okay. You're so loved. You're so safe. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.